Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to this special interview with Mike Graham. And today we're going to talk about how endurance sports help improve mental health and our lives. And if you're watching us live, say hi and then comment. And if you have any questions, just pop in the comment box below. And if you're watching replay, welcome all the replay viewers. Again, just keep commenting and share this video and invite your friends and family to join us. So, hi Mike, how are you doing today?
Very good, especially after our run yesterday.
Oh yeah, definitely. We had a run in Hyde Park yesterday, so it was really good. I had a really good night's sleep, and then it was fun. Yeah. Okay. So perhaps before we start talking about your project or anything, just perhaps let you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for inviting me. That's firstly, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
So, for I guess for people who don't know me, my name's Mike. I'm an entrepreneur. I run my own business, and I recently became an Ironman, which is very exciting. I'm a little bit obsessed with endurance sports, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about it more and more through today, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So when it comes to endurance sports, a lot of people are scared about it. Especially like for running. Well, for me, I love running, like half marathon or all these things. I enjoyed it. But some people say it's so boring. You just keep running. So what's your view about it, around this idea?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
In July, I did a 10K swim, right? So I was swimming for 4.5 hours, non-stop, straight.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
It's very boring.
Yeah, it is.
But the thing is that it's like meditating, like when you meditate in the beginning, it's very boring. But why do people meditate? They meditate because they want to find that peaceful place in their minds so that they can connect with themselves. And that's what it's about, because if you give your body the space, when you go running, when you run for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever you run for, 10 minutes for some people, right? Yeah. But just giving your body that space to step away from the mind is like meditating. And you find that in the beginning it is boring, but after a while, for me, I'm addicted to that feeling now. I'm addicted to that feeling of I need the mental space to think. Yeah. So, I'd say to people, you've got to get past that initial boredom. But when you do, it's amazing what happens on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's very similar to meditating. At the beginning, it is boring for people who doesn't really do it or just started. It is boring, but the idea is more of a mind-body practice.
Yeah.
So it's like meditating. You connect with yourself, with your emotions, and also swimming or all these endurance sports.
When you look at
with your body.
I had this call with someone the other day.
Yeah.
When you look at the human body, there's a lot of things, right, that make a human being.
Yeah.
But for example, if you break it down to 3 basic areas, so you have the mind, so what we're thinking, you have the body, the physical part, and then you have your spirit or your emotions, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is a lot of people, if you think about it like a triangle, a lot of people focus just on what they're thinking and their emotions. So then the energy just goes backwards and forwards. Good energy, bad energy. A lot of times there's no outlet. There's no way for them to get rid of the bad energy, right? Whereas if you really focus on the human physical part as well, it creates a flow of energy that gives you more stability for you to be able to live the life you want, really, to push yourself, to be successful, to be happy. And that's why I think it's so important to get the physical side right, because then it's easier to get the mental and the emotional side right as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And when it comes to, have this triangle and then connect with your physical body, it's quite lacking at this day and age, because a lot of us are having like sitting in front of the desk For a long time, most of us, we use a brain, we are thinking, we have like buggy emotions.
Yeah.
Mostly it's like that, but quite often people neglect the physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's actually, it's just for my personal experience. When I go out for the run or go for exercise, the time I'm not thinking about my business, or the time I'm not worrying about anything, that was the time. After that, I have a better idea. So
Yeah.
that's really how it works. Our human body is fascinating. Yeah, definitely. I think because today we're talking about endurance sports, like connection between practicing endurance sports and mental health. I think that really explains why these can help improve the mental health and our lives in general. So, has been your experience by practicing these endurance sports, and how it has improved your life?
So that's like I started 2 years ago,
Yeah,
right? And I tell people now I did an Ironman, right?
yeah,
And if someone doesn't know what an Ironman is, it's an endurance race.
yeah,
It's seen as the world's hardest one-day endurance race.
yeah.
It's you swim 4,000 meters, you cycle 180 kilometers, and then you run a marathon, right? At the end, right? So I did that in June. Took me 15 hours.
Yeah.
But the reason I started in the beginning, I couldn't swim, I could barely run, I didn't even have a bike, right?
Oh.
So I wasn't an endurance athlete at all. But the reason I started was very simple. I had my own business, my life was okay, everything was okay, but I wanted to become a better version of Michael Graham. Like if you think about it like a phone. I was Michael Graham version 1.2.
Yeah.
I wanted to become Michael Graham version 5.8. But what I noticed was by pushing my body to become better, by pushing my mindset to become better, because endurance sport, long distance running, swimming, cycling, it's all about mentality.
Yes.
It's your mentality. And what I noticed was that by pushing my body to become better, my mind became stronger, my emotions became stronger, my entire life transformed in 24 months. And what was amazing was that not only did my life transform, I had friends around me where they got into the sport and their lives transformed as well, right?
Oh, wow.
I had one friend who was he borderline alcoholic, right? And he got into cycling with me, and we cycled for 6 months. We cycled from London to Paris.
Oh, wow.
And in that 6-month period, this guy, he stopped drinking. He got a new girlfriend who's amazing. He got a promotion at his job, right?
Wow.
And it all happened because his body became so much better, that his mind became better, that his emotional side of his life became better, right? And that's what people don't understand with endurance sports. Yes, it's hard in the beginning, but everything is hard in the beginning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if you get through that hard part, what you get at the other end, you can't buy it. You can't buy it anywhere, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great story. Like your friend was like alcoholic, but then because of he started doing these sports and started having a healthier body, and then the rest of the life has changed.
Yeah.
It actually get like, because the theme of this group is health is your first wealth.
Okay.
Health is your wealth, and health is your first wealth. And I think that definitely has explained how by looking after your body and practicing these sports, and it has not just give you a better body, but also better mental health and better life in general. It's amazing. Yeah.
And people think that when you look at endurance sport, when you look at marathon running or Ironman, people think you need to be an athlete. You don't need to be an athlete. Like for example, I guide I told you this yesterday, but I guide a blind guy, Harren. The guy is totally blind. And what was amazing about him, he used to be able to see, right? So he lost his sight about 4 years ago. And if you imagine losing your sight, like imagine not being able to see, that would be crazy, right?
Yes.
So he lost his sight. He went into depression for about a year. And then he decided to get himself out of depression. And he chose to connect with his body. He chose to do triathlon as a vehicle to get himself out of that, right? So what I do with him is I guide him. And it's an amazing experience because for me as an athlete, I had to become so much better to be able to guide him,
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like when we did his first Olympic triathlon last year, and at the end, when he finished, he was so happy. He was so happy because he did something that so many people would see as impossible, right?
Yes.
For a normal person, if you say to a normal person, you're going to go do a triathlon, they're like, okay, it's hard, maybe I can't do it. If you say that to someone who's blind, they'll tell you, no way, right? And I think the ability to do that to other people's lives is incredible. It's incredible, and that's the unique thing about endurance sport. Anyone can do it. You don't need to be talented. You don't need to be gifted. You just need to have a great attitude, and you need to be willing to put in the work.
Yes, great attitude and willing to put in the work. It's not just endurance sports, but any areas of the life.
Any area of life, right? Like if you want to get a degree, you got to have a good attitude. You got to put in the work. If you want to start a business, you got to have a good attitude. You got to put in the work.
Yes.
If you want to become an Ironman, you got to have a good attitude. You got to put in the work, right? It's like anything else, right?
Yeah.
But it changes the way you think about things because, like for example, with me, right? 1 year ago, I was terrified of running a marathon. I was terrified, right? And so I decided to sign up for my first marathon last year in Bournemouth.
Oh, wow.
It was really hard.
Yes,
right?
I can imagine.
So then I was like, okay, I need to make marathon running easy in my head.
Yeah.
So I did 3 marathons this year. I did 4, but I did one in February, one in March, one in April.
Oh, wow.
Back to back, right? And then at the end of that, I was like, okay, marathon running is easy now. But how crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
Marathon running is easy. And what that did was, there's so many other areas, like in my business, when I come across challenges, instead of thinking, oh my God, this is hard, I can't do this, I think, okay, it's hard, maybe it's impossible, but how am I going to figure it out?
Yes.
Do you see what I mean? And it's a different thought process. It's a different thought process, right?
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, I think we can definitely learn a lot from running because on one thing, definitely a lot of people think it's impossible or they can't do it. I think a lot of time they compare themselves with someone who is very athletic. Like, I'm not him, I'm not her, and I can't do it. But the idea is not to compete with anyone.
Yeah.
It's really to improve yourself. The only person you need to compare is yourself.
And that's one of the most beautiful things about it is that unless you have been training since you were 7 years old, and you're just an athlete, you're not going to go win a race, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go win, right? But what you can do is you can put in the best performance that you can put in, right? Yeah. And for some people, that might mean you walk a little bit, but you finish, right? For some people, that might mean you don't walk, but you finish. For some people, that might mean you run really fast and you finish, right? Yeah. So, but what's beautiful about it is I'm not competing with you. You're not competing with anyone. You're competing against yourself. Yeah. And it's really humbling. It's really humbling because, you know, we all compare ourselves to other people, right? In endurance sport, the only person you can compare yourself against is yourself.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, so that's true.
It's amazing because I'll give, like, for example, you know, I go training with people, some athletes, and these guys are really good. They're really good, right? And when I tell people I'm an Ironman, they're like, wow, that's amazing. In the back of my mind, I'm like, it's amazing, but I know that there are so many people that are so much better than me. you know? Yeah. And, but my goal is not to become like them. My goal is, can I race my next race a
Yeah.
little bit better, a little bit faster, you know? And
Yeah.
but it replicates in life. It replicates in life. And that's
Yes.
the cool thing.
Yes, definitely. It's like become a better version of yourself. It's
Yeah,
not you become someone else. It's better. It's a bigger and better version of you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so because I know these has been amazing, like endurance sports transform your life, transform other people's life, and I know currently you are building up this legacy project. Just
Yeah.
tell us more about it, like how you come across this idea and what you are looking to achieve with
Yeah.
this project.
So the idea of the project, it's called the Legacy Project, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is, it really is to empower people to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
So our hashtag is made of more, right?
Wow, I like it.
Right? Made of
Yeah.
more. And the idea is that I really believe that every single person in the planet wants to become better.
Yes.
And I believe that they also have the ability within themselves to become better.
Yes.
What they don't have sometimes is the vehicle. They don't have that. How do they do it? Let's say you're in a job and you're frustrated. How do you change career and go do something else? How do you, you know? And I think it's very easy to go on a coaching course, to listen to a webinar, to go on YouTube and write down loads of notes, but you never have the practical emotional experience of doing that, right? Like I'll give you an example. People always talk about, when it comes to personal development, people always talk about, you got to have a good attitude, right? You got to be positive, right? People always talk about it, right?
Yes.
The problem is everybody writes down the notes, right? But nobody has the environment to practice it. You just never have, do you know what I mean? Whereas with endurance sport, you get the opportunity to physically practice what you're learning, right? So the idea of the Legacy Project is, next year, I'm going to run 50 endurance events. So,
oh, wow.
I know, right? So 50 endurance events, 12 of them will be Ironman.
Oh,
right?
nice.
12 of them will be Ironman. And then I'm going to train 100 people to do their first endurance event. So it could be an Ironman, it could be a 5K park run, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to partner with a charity, charities that work with people around mental health. And we're going to try and raise £150,000 for those charities. That's our goal, right? We're going to work with corporates. We're going to work with, we already got some sponsors giving us money to make the project work, which is amazing. But we want to make it a global movement where people look at endurance sport, triathlon, as a vehicle to deal with things like mental health, but also to improve themselves. Some people, they don't suffer from mental, touch wood, I feel very fortunate. I don't think I suffer from mental health, right? But for some people they do, and they need an outlet. But it's not, it doesn't matter whether you suffer from mental health or not. Everybody wants to improve. Everybody wants to develop. And that's the idea of the Legacy Project.
Oh, wow. That's really, that's amazing. It's like
you're going to do an Ironman as well.
yeah, I will. Different people starting from different levels. Yeah, some people it means like the first 5K or first 10K or just like it's the next level. So everyone started somewhere. As you said, it's true. Not everyone, it doesn't necessarily say you have to suffer from mental health to do it. Everyone wants to live happier. Everyone wants to live a life that's really connect with their true purpose. But I think the byproduct of this legacy project is really to leave a legacy by being living on your true purpose.
And here's the beautiful thing, right? It gives me goosebumps even talking about it. But when you think of the word legacy, you think of like people like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, right? Whereas the reality is, everyone, we all have a legacy, right? The way our friends see us, the way our family sees us, the way our work colleagues sees us, the way we see ourselves. When we die, right? What will people remember us for? What will they say? how will you live forever? You live forever in people's minds and in people's hearts, right?
Yes.
And that is your legacy, right? And
Yeah.
you don't be king of the world. You could just be one person and you have 5 friends.
Yeah.
But your legacy is the way you impact those people. And that's why it's called legacy, because it's about people understanding that they have a legacy, but what is it, right? If you ask most people, what is your legacy?
Yeah.
They don't know, right?
They don't know.
Right?
It seems quite a big thing for
It's
a
a
lot
huge
of
thing,
people, but it
right?
doesn't necessarily have
Yeah.
to be something big.
I'll give you an example. That we did our London triathlon in August,
Yeah.
and there was one of our athletes. He's a guy called Tosin, right? He's how old is Tosin? Tosin is early 40s. He's divorced. He's got a daughter who's 10 years old, and he's never done a triathlon before. And I've been training him. I've been working with him, right? And he still can't swim. He can't swim very well, right? So he was swimming in the Thames, right?
Oh, wow.
And his swim was 400 meters. He'd only managed to do 300 meters, and then they had to pull him out because he was drowning. He was drowning, right?
Oh.
So they had to pull him out. They did a quick health check on him, and then they were like, "Okay, you can continue. Go finish the triathlon." And then he finished the triathlon, right? And when in the finish line, he was running. He was excited. He finished it, and there was a beautiful moment afterwards where he was taking a photo with his daughter, right? And his daughter was looking up at him like he was her hero, right?
Wow.
In that moment, he created a legacy for his daughter.
Yes.
And that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And that's a very small thing, but that's something that will live forever,
Yes.
right? Like his daughter will always remember that moment. The moment her dad's nearly drowned, right? But he finished something that he said he was going to do. And that's incredible, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really the thing. Sometimes we see role models. It doesn't have to be something like celebrity or something well known, but it can be just a family member who has done something amazing and then became a legacy for you, and then you carry on to the next generation.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of it. So yes, really, really like this idea. And I'm sure if you are watching us either live or replay, you might get a goosebump, hopefully, and get inspired to, tempted to do these things. As we said, endurance sports, you get to put in the work and have the environment. And of course, like yesterday, we've been running in Hyde Park. That's a great thing, because running myself, it's a little bit different than running with other people who also have the same mentality. And so for those who are tempted, want to try and want to get started, so what's your message to them, how they can get started, how they can take the first step?
So we've got a Facebook group, which is called the Legacy Project Made of More Journey to Ironman.
Yeah.
So they're more than welcome to come and join us there. But I think what it comes down to do endurance, to do anything in life, it comes down to 2 things. One, you need the inspiration and the motivation to start, right? And then you need the technical knowledge to keep yourself going, right? And that's it, really. If you have those 2 things, with most things, you can get yourself going, right? I would actually challenge people to go, you know what? If they want to do it, I would challenge them to pick a race next year and sign up. Just sign up.
Yes, right? That's ultimate accountability. You got to do it.
Just sign up, right? Yeah. Don't worry about how you're going to do it. Don't worry about anything. Just pick a race, sign up, and go for it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so early on in our Health is Wealth Mastermind group, we had a thread, which is a list of the races where you can go, where you can find some races like 5K, 10K, half marathon, and the list will go on. But of course, after this live, we'll put the link in the description of your group, of the Legacy Facebook group.
Please do, yes. Yeah. Please do.
So there'll be more resources. And then it's really, you have the environment. Everyone is going to do something, you have the same attitude, and then you have that environment because you have the peer group, the peer support with you. But even though everyone else was saying you're crazy, we don't.
You know, one of the reasons I decided to set up Legacy is because I truly believe in your environment. You're a product of your environment, right? And I want to see what level I can go to now. You know, like I want to run an ultra marathon, right? And I'm terrified.
That'd be really cool.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really painful. But I think what I missed about endurance sport, it can be very lonely sometimes.
Yes.
So I thought, if we can create an environment where there's like-minded people who push each other, who motivate each other, who look after each other, then that's an amazing, amazing thing, right? We've even got a group out in Thailand, which is really cool. Wow. So we're gonna look to set up groups. Maybe we should get a group in China. So we should
go for the run, like the Great Wall of China challenge.
Wow, we should do that. That'd be great. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, the idea is, you know, to have like-minded people pushing each other to accomplish their dreams. Really, it's very simple.
Yeah. Definitely. It's like push each other, support each other, and also bounce ideas as well. We are in different levels. Some are more experienced than the other. So you can really bounce ideas and share your experience, like how you can run more efficiently, what sort of gears, what you need to do to get most out of your training, or your what you eat, like how you can look after yourself.
100%.
When you are doing this endurance sports. Self-care, it's also very important in doing this.
You know, it's funny, you know, just to wrap it up, but like self-care, right? If you have a car, let's say you have a Ferrari, right? You'll take your car in to get checked every month, right? Every quarter, all the time. But people don't do that with their own bodies. Right?
Absolutely. But our own body is more precious than all these things.
Like your body should be your Ferrari. And that's how I look at it, right? What I love about endurance, it's funny, final thing, but a couple of weeks ago I was late to my flight. I was flying somewhere and I was late, right?
Wow.
I was going to run a marathon actually. And in my mind I was like, okay, we're 3 kilometers from the airport. I was on the bus. I was like, we're 3 kilometers from the airport. I was like, how quickly could I run 3 kilometers, right? My bag, and I was like, do I go for it? And then the traffic started moving, right? But the point is, in that I felt so free to be able to go, okay, we're in traffic, but I can get out and I can run if I want. You know? I mean, it's a bit crazy, but it's so free, you know? It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have shared really inspirational stories, and of course you will know more about the Legacy project through Mike. So just some final thing, do you have any final message for everyone? Do you have a challenge for everyone, or something like, what's the thing, shall we just say everyone go to the thread and sign up for the race?
I think a couple of things. One, if you want to do a race, just sign up.
Yes.
Right. I think two, we go running every Wednesday in Hyde Park. Right. So if people want to just start with running, even if they hate running, come with us, you know, and we'll run every Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Hyde Park.
That's definitely a good motivation, because running with other people, it's definitely different. It's more fun.
And I think the third thing is my favorite quote at the moment in life. My favorite quote that I'll leave you guys with is, "Victory loves preparation."
Oh wow! Right? I like it.
Right. Right. Victory loves preparation, and the idea behind that is, if you want to win something, just be a winner. You got to put in the preparation work, and it all starts with your mindset.
Yes. Always be ready, but put the hard work, and always be ready. Yes. Okay.
100%.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Mike. And of course, we'll put the link in our comment box. And then for those who want to join us for the run or for the challenge, for the fun. And then, yes, reach out to Mike for any more information about the Legacy project. And then let's just get moving. So I also remind everyone to, go to the group, our group, Health is Wealth Mastermind group, the thread we put in earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, about the list of races. So go for it, go sign up something, and then yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for those who are watching, and we hope to see you very soon.